In a perfect world, we would of course check every food item every week and make sure that we're only purchasing the best deal. But none of us, as far as I know, lives in a perfect world. And so here's a way to keep food costs down that's a hack for people without a lot of extra time. Hi, if you're new to this channel, my name is Jason Peterson, and we've called the channel Noggin because this is where we learn how to get stuff off of our mind by putting it into a process. And today we're going to talk about a simple process for keeping food costs down. Because let's be real, like if there's a hill to die on, food costs in our industry, that's it. That's the hill, right? Most of whether we win or lose in food services is going to boil down to purchasing. As a matter of fact, there's a saying, and I believe that it's only about 1,000% true, and that is, you don't make money in food services when you sell a meal. You make money when you bought that meal, right? And that's super true. You don't make money when you sell. You make money when you buy. And so, unfortunately, most of us, in a perfect world, we would check all of our food costs every week and only purchase the lowest. But most of us simply don't have time for that. So here's a two-step hack that you can do to keep your food costs down without spending very much time at all doing it. The first one is something that I put into place with a business that I acquired. It was in bankruptcy, and I acquired it. We got it turned around very rapidly, and one of its problems was purchasing. The costs of goods sold were out of control, and so one of the things that we implemented was what I called spot checking. And so I would pick 5 items, and I would go. So here's how to do this: go to the stuff that you're buying, the foods that you're buying, and pick 5 of them every week, 5 different ones each week. And what you're going to do is you're going to spot check that against a couple of things. Number one, you're going to spot check it against what your previous price was, just to make sure that the price didn't go up, especially if you have a quote price or a special price from your food supplier. And number two, you're going to check it against other suppliers that you could buy from, right? And then the third thing you're going to do with this first suggestion is you're going to call your food rep and you're going to tell them what you found. You're going to say, if one of the price went up, you're going to ask why. Hey, why did my price go up on French fries? Or, why is my price for beans higher than it is if I went with this supplier? And you're not doing that to be contentious, by the way. You're doing it because you have a good relationship and you're asking them, what makes this worth it to you? I assume that there's a good value or something. Even if everything is good, you're still going to call your food supplier and say, hey, just wanted you to know, in doing my weekly price check, I saw that everything was lined up, and I just wanted you to know how I appreciate that. The significant part of what you're doing with this first step, this spot checking, is you're sending the signal to your food supplier, I check my food prices. And what that by default causes them to believe that, okay, they're checking me, so I can't just willy-nilly raise the prices. You'd be surprised at how great relationships, even your best suppliers, if they don't think the prices are being checked, you'd be surprised how easy it is for them to just slowly rise, to go up, and just calling, saying, I check my food prices, puts a little bit of pressure downward. You'll get 80% of the value out of, if you had checked every price every week, 80% of the value you get out of that is communicating to your suppliers that I check our prices. So, second suggestion here, and this is one that I learned in a different business, so in a completely different industry. It's actually the lighting industry. I acquired a bankrupt lighting store, and it was super small and had been a dumpster fire, so it didn't have a great reputation. I didn't think, this is one of my first turnarounds, I didn't think that we deserved to ask for any special deals from suppliers. We were fortunate enough to recruit in a kind of an old grizzled lighting vet who came in and he said, Jason, we're going to pull in one of the suppliers and we're going to ask him for a dirty dozen, 12 items that we can get really special pricing on. And he said, I'll never forget this, he said, essentially, whether or not you deserve a special deal has a whole lot less to do with whether you deserve it or whether they think you deserve it. So be bold, ask them for your dirty dozen, and you'll be surprised at how often they gave it to you. And I remember feeling like, okay, old man, I'll give that a shot. He was totally right, 1,000% right. We pulled in the vendor, said, all right, we think we can sell more of your stuff. Can you give us this price on these? And we got it. Matter of fact, we got to where it was so effective, the ask and ye shall receive. It was so effective asking for exclusive deals that we eventually graduated to a dirty 30. And then eventually that business got to where it had a dirty 30 suppliers, where we had entire suppliers that were giving us special deals just because we asked for it. So even if your restaurant is tiny, do not be afraid to come up with a dirty dozen and go ask your food suppliers for a special price on it, a special deal. Allow yourself to be surprised at how cooperative they actually are. Don't let yourself believe, like if you walk in with your hat in your hand and act like a small business who doesn't deserve deals, that's exactly what you are. If you walk in as if we're an important account, that's also exactly what you are. So those are the two things that you can do. A hack for busy people who don't have time to go check every price. Those are two things you can do to help keep your food costs down. And I have a couple of other simple suggestions. The first is there's another video that we've recorded. I imagine that the bubble is here or somewhere. There's a video you can click on that is, there's a way you can ask for your food suppliers and make them think you're doing them a favor. And if you can do this, this supercharges whenever you're asking for deals from your suppliers. So watch that video. And the second one, this is really simple. Go to the website noggn.com, Noggn.com. There's a bunch of us restaurant owners that are getting together to try to put a resource together that will make running a restaurant easier. Let's be honest, it's hard, right? And so go visit that website and check out what we're doing there. And in the meantime, thanks for taking a watch at this video.